Ambassador Kell stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Harmony, and watched the stars streak past. His 6 eyes gleamed with satisfaction. In all his years serving the Galactic Council, he had never failed a mission. Today would be no different. Humans were a new species. They had discovered faster than light travel only 50 years ago. 50 years. Most species took centuries to master such technology. The Council had been watching Earth carefully since then, and what they saw was concerning. These humans expanded quickly, too quickly. They built colonies on 12 worlds already. They mined asteroids with aggressive efficiency. They sent probes everywhere. It was time to bring them under control. "Ambassador, we are approaching the meeting coordinates," his navigation officer announced. The officer's tentacles tapped nervously on the console. "The humans confirmed they will meet us there." Kellis nodded, his tall frame swaying slightly. The Zathi were known as the finest diplomats in the galaxy. Their silver skin could shift colors to show emotion, a trait that made negotiations easier. Right now, his skin showed confident blue. "Have they sent any other messages?" Kellis asked. "No, sir. Only the coordinates, in a single word. Acknowledged?" Strange. Most new species babbled endlessly when meeting the Council. They asked questions. They showed excitement or fear. The humans just sent coordinates and went silent. Perhaps they understood their position. Perhaps they knew they had no choice but to accept the Council's terms. Behind him, military advisor then growled softly. The reptilian truth was always suspicious. "I don't like this silence, Ambassador. It feels wrong." "Everything about humans feels wrong to you," Kellis replied with a dismissive gesture. "Relax, old friend. What can they possibly do? Our fleet has 7 dreadnoughts. Each ship carries enough firepower to level a continent. Humans have nothing that compares to our strength." Then scales rippled with unease, but he said nothing more. The science officer, a thin Vexari with large black eyes, looked up from her station. "Ambassador, I've been analyzing human communications. Something is unusual." "What is it?" "Every transmission from human space is encrypted, not just military channels. Everything, even civilian communications between their colonies, use military-grade encryption." "I cannot break it," Kelra shrugged. "They are a paranoid species. They fought each other for thousands of years before reaching space. Old habits die slowly." "Perhaps," the science officer said. She didn't sound convinced. "But there's more. I'm detecting strange gravitational readings near their home system. Very faint, but definitely there. It's like something massive is disturbing space itself. Probably their industrial stations. Kara said they build everything big and crude, inefficient creatures. Eternal Harmony dropped out of FTL Drive. The meeting station appeared before them, a neutral platform built at the edge of human territory. The other 6 dreadnoughts of Kellis's fleet emerged from jump space around them. Each ship was 800 mm long, bristling with weapons. Plasma batteries glowed along their hulls. Mass drivers pointed outward like the spines of a great beast. "Impressive, isn't it?" Kara said to them. "This is what the humans will face if they refuse our generous offer." "Generous?" then muttered. "Is that what we're calling it?" Kalis ignored him. The terms were clear. Humanity would join the Galactic Council as a junior member. They would have limited voting rights. They would pay taxes to the Council. They would accept restrictions on their military and their expansion. Most importantly, they would follow Council law in all things. If they refused, they would face economic isolation. No trade with Council worlds, no access to Council technology, no allies. Alone in a hostile galaxy, no species had ever refused. "Sir, I'm detecting a ship," the sensor officer called out. "Human vessel approaching." On the view screen, a ship appeared. It was small compared to the dreadnoughts, maybe 300 m long. The design was angular and simple. The hull showed signs of use, but was well maintained. Weapons were visible, but not excessive. One medium-sized cruiser. "Is that all?" Kalis asked, disappointed. "One ship. Sensors confirmed. It's their only vessel in range." Sir Kel felt his skin shift to amused green. The humans sent one small cruiser to meet 7 dreadnoughts. They really didn't understand the situation at all. "The ship is hailing us, sir. They identify as the Tux Prague. Put them through." A human face appeared on the screen. She was female, with dark hair pulled back neatly. Her face was smooth and unreadable. She wore a simple black uniform with minimal decorations. Her eyes were brown and steady. "Ambassador Kelly's," she said, in perfect Galactic common. Her accent was strange, but understandable. "I am Ambassador Elena Vasquez, representing the Terran United Government. Thank you for accepting this meeting." "The pleasure is mine, Ambassador Vasquez," Kellis replied, his skin showing friendly yellow. "Shall we proceed to the station?" "Yes, my team is ready." The transmission ended. "She seems calm," the science officer observed. Too calm, Kellis thought. But then again, humans were good at hiding their emotions. Their faces barely moved compared to most species. Perhaps she was terrified inside and simply didn't show it. "Prepare the diplomatic delegation," Kellis ordered. "We'll make this quick and simple. By tomorrow, humanity will be part of the Council on our terms." As he left the bridge, then watched the human cruiser on the view screen. Something bothered him about this whole situation. The silence, the encryption, the single ship, the calm ambassador. It felt like a trap, but a trap required bait. And the humans had nothing the Council wanted. They had no leverage, no power, no allies. They were alone. Then's warrior instinct screamed at him, but he had no logical reason for his unease. He pushed the feeling down and followed Kellis to the shuttle bay. The meeting would proceed as planned. What could possibly go wrong? The diplomatic station was small but well designed. Neutral gray walls, basic furniture that could accommodate most species, air mixture set to universal standard. The meeting room had a large oval table with chairs of various sizes. Ambassador Kellis arrived first with his delegation. He chose the head of the table naturally as befitted his position. The other council observers connected via hologram around the room. Representatives from 15 species watched with interest. This was an important moment. A new species joining the council always was. The door opened. Ambassador Elena Vasquez entered with 4 security guards. Kelra studied them carefully. Humans were shorter than Zilithi, taller than Vexari. Average, really. Their skin was various shades of brown and pink, fragile-looking, no scales, no carapace, no natural armor. Hair grew from their heads in different colors. They wore simple black uniforms with minimal equipment. Elena herself was unremarkable by galactic standards. She moved with quiet confidence, her brown eyes taking in everything without obvious concern. She carried no visible weapons. Her guards were sidearms, but nothing intimidating. "Ambassador Keyless," she said, extending her hand. Kel knew this gesture. Humans grasped hands as a greeting. He took her hand with 2 of his forearms. Her grip was firm but not aggressive. Her skin felt warm and soft. "Please sit," Kel said, gesturing to the opposite end of the table. Elena sat. Her guards positioned themselves behind her. The mood was formal, but polite. "Shall we begin?" Kelrus asked. He didn't wait for an answer. "The Galactic Council has observed humanity's expansion with great interest. You have achieved much in a short time. However, this rapid expansion concerns us. The galaxy has rules, order. Without order, there is chaos." Elena listened without interrupting. Her face showed nothing. Kellis continued. "The Council offers humanity membership. You would join as a junior member, of course. In time, perhaps 50 to 100 years, you might achieve full status. Until then, certain restrictions would apply." He activated a holographic display. Text appeared in multiple languages, including English. "You would limit your military to defensive forces only. No dreadnought-class vessels, no planet-cracking weapons. Your expansion would slow to acceptable rates. You would pay a membership fee based on your economy. Most importantly, you would follow all council laws and regulations. The room was quiet. Helena's guard showed no reaction. The holographic observers waited. "And if we refuse?" Helena asked. Her voice was calm, almost casual. Keyless's skin shifted to serious purple. Then humanity would face difficulties. No council species would trade with you. You would have no allies, no access to our markets, our technology, our knowledge. The galaxy is vast and dangerous, Ambassador. Alone your species would struggle, I see. Helena leaned back in her chair. She looked thoughtful. And these terms are non-negotiable. The council is firm but fair, Kelra said. These terms apply to all new members. Every species before you has accepted them. Interesting. Helena's fingers drummed once on the table. You said we would limit our military. What exactly does that mean? No vessels larger than 500 Alrim. No weapons of mass destruction. No offensive fleets. Defense only. And you would enforce this? Now, Kellis felt a flicker of annoyance. Most species didn't ask these questions. They simply accepted. The Council has enforcement mechanisms, inspections, monitoring, economic pressure if needed. Military action, Helena asked, only as a last resort. But yes, if a species violates Council law, action is taken. Helena nodded slowly. She glanced at one of her guards, a tall man with graying hair and cold blue eyes. He whispered something to her. She listened, then turned back to Karis. Ambassador, may I be direct? Of course. Your terms sound less like membership and more like subjugation. The room temperature seemed to drop. Several holographic observers shifted uncomfortably. Then, standing behind Kellis, growled softly. Kellis kept his voice diplomatic. Strong words, Ambassador. The Council seeks unity and peace. These terms ensure peace by controlling new species, by limiting their growth, by making them dependent. Elena's voice remained calm, but her words cut like blades. You're not offering partnership. You're offering submission with pretty words. Ambassador Vasquez, I understand. Emotions run high during first contact, Kellis said. But consider your position. Humanity is alone. You have no allies. Your technology, while impressive, is crude compared to ours. You cannot stand against the Council, can't we? Ellen asked. Something in her tone made thin scales stand on end. I don't believe you understand the situation, Kelra said. His skin shifted to warning orange. I brought 7 dreadnoughts to this meeting, 7 ships that could destroy every human colony within weeks. This is not a threat. This is reality. The Council has thousands of such ships. Humanity has nothing that compares. Elena was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled. It was not a happy smile. Ambassador Kellis, you're right about one thing. Humanity is different from other species you've encountered, but not in the way you think, meaning most species you meet have peace in their nature. They fight when necessary, but they prefer cooperation. Humanity is not like that. Elena leaned forward. We spent 10,000 years killing each other. We invented thousands of ways to destroy ourselves. Nuclear weapons, biological warfare, chemical agents. We burned our own cities. We poisoned our own land. We nearly ended our species a dozen times. The observers listened in shocked silence. When we finally reached the stars, Elena continued, We didn't forget those lessons. We didn't become peaceful. We just pointed our weapons outward instead of inward. We prepared for threats we hoped didn't exist. This is meant to frighten me, Kellis asked. You admit you are violent and dangerous. This only proves the Council is right to control you. Control us? Elena shook her head. Ambassador, you can't control humanity. You can only choose how you interact with us as equals or as enemies. There is no middle ground. You have no leverage, Kel said, his patience wearing thin. 1 cruiser against 7 dreadnoughts. Your entire fleet against the Council's thousands. You cannot win. I need 48 hours to consult with my government, Elena said, standing. Then I'll give you our answer. 48 hours? Kel stood as well. Most species decide immediately. We're not most species. Elena nodded politely. Thank you for your time, Ambassador. She left with her guards. The door closed behind them, then approached Kellis. Something is very wrong here. She's bluffing, Kellis said, trying to seem strong. Humans have pride. They'll accept our terms after they realize they have no choice. But as he watched Prague through the station's viewports, he saw something that bothered him. The human cruiser sent a single tight beam transmission toward Earth. His intelligence officers tried to intercept it. They failed. The encryption was unbreakable. What were the humans saying to their home world? And why did Elena seem so confident? Kalis pushed the thoughts away. In 48 hours, this would all be over. Humanity would join the Council. Everything would proceed as planned. He had no reason to worry. No reason at all. 36 hours passed slowly. Ambassador Callis spent most of that time in his quarters, reviewing reports and preparing for humanity's inevitable acceptance. The terms were reasonable. Every logical species understood that cooperation was better than isolation. Humanity would be no different. But doubts crept in. Elena's confidence bothered him. Her words about humanity's violent history bothered him more. No species bragged about their capacity for destruction. Most were ashamed of their wars and conflicts. Yet Elena spoke of human violence with something almost like pride. Kel stood at his viewport, watching the diplomatic station. The Prague remained docked quiet and still. No communications came from it. The humans waited in silence. The door chimed. Then entered without waiting for permission. We have a problem, the crew said. What kind of problem? The fleet is getting restless. The captains want to know why we're waiting. They say the humans are stalling. They want to apply pressure. Kel turned from the viewport. What kind of pressure? They suggest we move closer to human territory. Show them our strength. Remind them what they're facing. That seems aggressive. It's a show of force, nothing more. Then scales rippled. We stay in neutral space, but we drift closer to their border. Let them see our ships. Let them understand. Keyless considered this. Elena had been confident, perhaps too confident. A reminder of the Council's power might help her understand reality. It wasn't a threat, not really, just a demonstration. Very well, he said. Order the fleet to advance. But stay in neutral space. I don't want any incidents. Then nodded and left. 2 hours later, the fleet moved. 7 massive dreadnoughts activated their engines and glided forward. They positioned themselves in a defensive formation, weapons powered down but visible. The message was clear. We are here, we are strong, and we are watching in Prague. Alarm suddenly screamed. Elena rushed to the bridge. Her security chief, Commander David Torres, was already there studying the tactical display. What's happening? She asked. The alien fleet is moving, Torres said. His voice was tight with tension. They're advancing toward our exclusion zone. Elena watched the display. 7 massive ships, each bristling with weapons, moving deliberately toward the invisible line that marked human space. They were still in neutral territory, but barely. Have they crossed the boundary? Elena asked. Not yet, but they're getting close. Too close? Elena's jaw tightened. Hail the eternal harmony. Kelly's appeared on screen moments later. His silver skin showed pleased yellow. Ambassador Vasquez, I trust you've noticed our fleet's new position? I have, Elena said coldly. What are you doing, Ambassador? Merely adjusting our formation. We remain in neutral space, of course, but I thought a visual reminder of the Council's strength might help your government make its decision. This is intimidation. This is reality, Kellis replied. You have 6 hours remaining before your deadline. I suggest you use them wisely. The transmission ended. Torres looked at Elena. Orders. Elena stared at the tactical display. The 7 alien ships hung at the edge of human space, like predators circling prey. They thought they were in control. They thought humanity had no options. They were wrong. "Send the signal," Elena said quietly. Torres hesitated. "Are you sure? Once we do this, there's no going back." They forced our hand. "Send it." Torres activated the emergency beacon. A single coded transmission shot toward Earth at faster than light speed. It contained 3 words: "Deploy the Titan." On Eternal Harmony, Kellis felt satisfied. The humans would surely respond now. They would see his ships and understand their weakness. By morning, they would accept the Council's terms. He was discussing dinner plans with his chef when his tactical officer shouted, "Sir, gravitational anomaly detected." Kellis rushed to the bridge bearing 187 Mark IV distance. It's hard to get a reading. The distortion is massive. On the view screen, space itself seemed wrong. Reality rippled like water. Stars bent around an invisible point. The sensors screamed with conflicting data. "What is that?" Kellis demanded. "Unknown, sir. I've never seen anything like it. It's like space is tearing open." In Prague, alarms changed from warning to confirmation. Torres checked his readings twice, then smiled. "She's here," he said. Elena nodded. "Good. Let's see how confident Ambassador Kellis feels now." The gravitational distortion grew stronger. Every ship within a light minute felt it. Hulls groaned, instruments flickered, even experienced crews felt their stomachs drop as gravity itself seemed to twist. Then space tore. Not a jump point, not a wormhole, something else entirely. A wound in reality that pulsed with impossible energy. From that wound emerged the Tux Olympus Mons. Kel stared at the view screen and felt his skin go white with shock. His mind refused to process what he was seeing. It couldn't be real. It couldn't exist. The ship was 15 kilometers long, 15 kilometers. It wasn't a ship. It was a floating city, a mobile station, a weapon of apocalyptic scale. The hull was dark gray, covered in angular armor plating. Towers rose from its surface like the spires of a cathedral. Massive engines glowed with blue fire at the stern. And weapons, so many weapons. Rail cannons larger than his entire flagship. Missile silos that could hold thousands of warheads, energy weapons that pulsed with barely contained power, point defense turrets covered every surface like the spines of a sea creature. "Sensor readings," Karras croaked. His tactical officer's voice shook. "Sir, the mass." "It's registering as this can't be right." "Tell me." "The ship mass is more than all 7 of our dreadnoughts combined. Its energy signature's equivalent to a small star." "I'm counting. I can't count all the weapons." "There are too many." "Sir, this thing could destroy a fleet by itself." In Prague, Elena opened a channel to Eternal Harmony. "Ambassador Kellis," she said calmly, "allow me to introduce the Tux Olympus Mons Titan-class warship, flagship of Earth's defense fleet." Kellis couldn't speak. His skin flickered through every color at once. A new voice came over communications. Deep calm. Absolutely cold. "This is Admiral Chen Xiao of the Terran United Command Ship Olympus Mons, with all vessels powering down weapons and holding positions. Any aggressive action will be met with immediate response." On the Eternal Harmony's tactical display, a nightmare appeared. The Olympus Mons had locked weapons on all 7 dreadnoughts simultaneously. Not just weapons, hundreds of them targeting solutions so precise that each ship had dozens of rail cannons, missiles, and energy beams trained on critical systems. "Sir," the tactical officer whispered, "they're targeting our engines, our weapons, our bridges all at once. I don't understand how they're tracking all of us simultaneously." Then's voice was barely audible. "How? How did they build this?" Elena's face appeared on every screen in Kellis's fleet. "You asked what leverage humanity has," she said. "This is our leverage. This is what we built while you thought we were primitive. While you dismissed us as crude and inefficient." Kellis finally found his voice. "This is impossible. No species builds weapons like this." "Humanity does," Elena replied. "We've been building weapons since we learned to sharpen stones. We've been killing each other since we lived in caves. When we reached the stars, we didn't forget how to fight. We just got better at it. Admiral Chen's hologram appeared beside Elena. He was older, scarred, his face showing years of war. He wore armor, not a dress uniform. This was a soldier, not a politician. Ambassador Kellis Chen said, "My ship is waiting for orders. I strongly recommend you withdraw your fleet now." Kellis looked at his tactical display. 7 dreadnoughts that had seemed so powerful an hour ago now looked like toys compared to the monster floating before them. "Stand down," he whispered. "Sir?" his weapons officer asked. "Stand down. Power down all weapons. Reverse engines. Get us away from human space." The fleet began to withdraw. Elena watched them go. Torres stood beside her. "That went well," he said. "It's not over yet," Elena replied. "Now comes the hard part." "What's that?" "Making them understand that this isn't a threat. It's just the beginning." The Olympus Mons hung in space like a sword over the galaxy's throat. Its presence changed everything. The diplomatic station, which had seemed so neutral and safe before, now felt like a killing ground. The Council's 7 dreadnoughts had retreated to a safe distance, but they hadn't left. Not yet. Ambassador Kellis sat in his quarters, staring at nothing. His skin couldn't settle on a single color. It shifted constantly between fear white and confusion gray. His hands trembled. How had the Council missed this? How had their intelligence failed so completely? A chime at his door then entered, looking grim. "The Council is demanding answers," the crew said. "They want to know what happened. They want to know what that ship is. They want to know why we didn't see it coming." "I don't have answers," Kellis said. His voice sounded hollow. "We watched human space. We monitored their communications. We saw nothing. We saw what they wanted us to see, then said." He sat down heavily. "We underestimated them. We thought they were primitive, crude. We were wrong." Kellis' communication console beeped. An incoming message from Prague from Elena. He accepted it. Elena's face appeared calm as ever. "Ambassador Kellis, I believe it's time we continued our discussion. Your ship," Kellis began, then stopped. He didn't know what to say. "The Olympus Mons," Elena said. "Yes." "Impressive, isn't she? 15 kilometers of engineering excellence. It took us 20 years to build her. 20 years of research, development, and construction. All in secret." "Secret?" Kellis repeated. "How?" "We were watching. You were watching what we showed you." Elena said, "Our civilian colonies, our merchant ships, our public communications. You saw a young species fumbling with new technology. You saw what we wanted you to see." Kellis felt sick. The Council had been deceived, completely and utterly deceived. "We learned something important from our history," Elena continued. "The best weapon is the one your enemy doesn't know you have. While you were watching our colonies, we were building shipyards in deep space, hidden, shielded. We moved resources slowly, carefully. We encrypted everything and we built." "Why?" Kellis asked. "If you wanted peace, why build such weapons?" Elena's expression hardened. "Because we learned another lesson from history. Peace without strength is just an invitation to conquest. We've seen it on Earth 1,000 times. The weak are always dominated by the strong. We decided we would never be weak." A new communication window opened. Admiral Chen appeared. Ambassador Kellis Chen said, "I think it's time we had an honest conversation. All of us. No more diplomatic dancing." Elena nodded. "Agreed. Ambassador, we're inviting you back to the diplomatic station. Bring whoever you wish. Let's discuss terms. Real terms." 2 hours later, they met again. This time, the mood was completely different. Kellis entered the room like a condemned man. Then his entire senior staff followed. The holographic observers from the Council were silent, watching with something close to fear. Elena and Admiral Chen waited. Elena sat at the table. Chen stood behind her, his arms crossed. He looked like he had been carved from stone. Kel sat down. He didn't try to take the head of the table this time. "You wanted honesty," he said. "So let me be honest. That ship terrifies me. It terrifies everyone in my fleet. It terrifies the Council. We have never seen anything like it. We know, Elena said simply. How many do you have? Kalis asked. He had to know, Chen answered. The Olympus Mons is one of 12 Titan-S warships. 3 are operational, 4 are in final construction, 5 are in early stages. 12, the number hung in the air like a death sentence. 12 planet killers, then said quietly. No, Chen corrected. 12 fleet killers. We don't kill planets. We protect them. There's a difference. Killis's scientific officer spoke up hesitantly. How did you do it? Our technology cannot create ships that large. The structural stress alone would tear them apart. You can't build them because you don't think like we do. Chen said, your species fight when necessary. For humans, war is our nature. We've been perfecting it for 10,000 years. We know materials, stress points, weapon systems, tactics. We know how to kill efficiently because we've been killing each other since the beginning. When we went to space, Elena added, we took all that knowledge with us. We designed every ship as if we would face an enemy fleet tomorrow. The Olympus uses fusion anti-adder hybrid reactors. Our rail cannons fire projectiles at O2 light speed. Our AI warfare systems can process 1 million tactical scenarios per second. AI systems? Kellis asked, alarmed. You use artificial intelligence in combat extensively. Chen said, our AI works with human commanders, not against them. We learned to trust our machines because we built them right. Kellis felt dizzy. Every answer revealed how far ahead humanity was, not in peaceful technology. In war, your council offered us terms, Elena said, her voice sharp. Junior membership, restricted rights, limited military, monitored expansion. You treated us like children who needed guidance. We made a mistake, Kellis admitted. What else could he say? You made several mistakes, Chen said. First, you assumed you were stronger. Second, you assumed we would be grateful for your attention. Third, you thought you could intimidate us. But the biggest mistake, Elena continued, was thinking humanity would ever accept subjugation. We didn't climb to the top of our food chain by submitting. We didn't conquer our planet by being meek. We didn't reach the stars by asking permission. The room was silent. Kellis took a breath. What do you want? Full membership in the Galactic Council, Elena said. Equal status, equal votes, equal rights. No restrictions on our military. No monitoring of our expansion. Full sovereignty. The Council will never agree, Kel said weakly. Then the Council will face consequences, Chen said. His voice was flat. Final. We're not threatening war. We're stating facts. Humanity will expand. We will defend our interests. We will not accept limits placed by others. You can work with us as equals, or you can try to stop us. Choose wisely. You would fight the entire Galactic Council, Kellis asked. If necessary, Chen replied. But it won't come to that, because your council is logical. They'll run the numbers. They'll analyze our ships. They'll realize that even if they could defeat us, the cost would be catastrophic. Hundreds of council ships destroyed, entire fleets crippled. And for what? To force humanity into submission. We would fight to the last ship, Elena said quietly. To the last human. That's what you don't understand about us. We faced extinction before. We fought wars that killed millions of our own people. We survived. We always survive. Then lean forward. You're talking about mutual destruction. We're talking about mutual respect. Elena corrected. The Council can have humanity as an ally, equal partners working toward common goals, trade, technology exchange, cultural sharing, defense against external threats. All of this is possible, or you can have us as an enemy, Chen added. And I promise you, Ambassador, humanity makes a terrible enemy. Kellis looked at the holographic observers. They stared back, silent and shocked. He thought about the Olympus Mons hanging in space. He thought about 11 more such ships being built. He thought about the Council's thousands of ships facing 12 Titans in battle. The math was brutal. Even if the Council won, it would be a victory that left them crippled. I will take your terms to the Council, Kel said finally. I will recommend they accept. Recommend strongly, Elena said. I will. Kel stood slowly. He felt old and tired. For what it's worth, Ambassador, I understand now. I understand why you built these ships. I understand why you hide your strength. Do you? Elena asked. You're afraid, Kelra said. You reached for the stars and found you weren't alone. You didn't know if we would be friends or enemies, so you prepared for the worst. Elena's expression softened slightly. Yes, we're afraid. But fear makes us strong, not weak. It keeps us alert. It keeps us ready. The galaxy is not as dangerous as you think, Kelra said. Perhaps, Chen replied, but it only takes one threat to end a species. We won't take that chance, Keyless nodded. He understood that too. Different species, different histories, different lessons learned. The Council species had found peace through cooperation. Humanity has found peace through strength. Both paths had merit. Both paths had a cost. 1 week, Elena said. We'll give the Council 1 week to respond. After that, we proceed on our own terms. 1 week, Kellis agreed. As he left the station, he looked at the Olympus Mons one last time. In the distance, he could see Prague, so small next to its massive guardian. Humanity had brought a god to the negotiating table, and gods did not bow. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session 3 days later. The Great Chamber orbited a neutral star, accessible only by special permission. Representatives from 47 species filled the circular room, some in person, others via hologram. At the center stood the Council's high seats, 7 elder representatives who had guided the galaxy for 300 years. High Seat Mara, a wise Vexari with black eyes that saw through deception, called the session to order. Her voice echoed through the chamber. We gather to address the human question, she said. Ambassador Kellis, present your report. Kelris stood. His silver skin was steady now, showing formal gray. He had prepared for this moment. He had practiced his words. They call it a Titan class. It masses more than any ship in our fleets. It carries weapons we can barely comprehend, and they have 12 of them. 12? High Seat Voran repeated. The reptilian elder's scale showed deep blue, the color of serious concern. You're certain? Admiral Chino confirmed it directly. Kelra said, 3 are operational, 9 are under construction. A crew representative stood. Then we destroy them. Now before they finish building, strike while we have numerical advantage. No, Kel said firmly. That would be a mistake. Why? The truth demanded. Are you a coward? I am cautious, Keyless replied, and I have seen what humans can do. High seats. With your permission, I would like to share what I learned about humanity. Morena nodded. Speak. Keyless took a breath. Humans are not like us. They are not peaceful by nature. For 10,000 years they fought each other. They created weapons specifically to kill their own species. Nuclear bombs, biological plagues, chemical weapons. They fought wars that killed millions. They nearly destroyed their own planet multiple times. This proves they are dangerous. Farron said, This proves we must control them. No, Kelra said, it proves we cannot. You see, humans learned something from their wars. They learned that the only way to have peace is to be too strong to attack. They call it peace through strength. When they reached the stars, they didn't become peaceful. They just redirected their weapons outward. He changed the display. Images appeared of human weapons, rail cannons, missile systems, energy weapons, and kinetic kill vehicles. Each design was efficient, brutal, effective. They have been preparing for first contact for 50 years, Killis continued. While we watched their colonies and commerce, They built shipyards in deep space, hidden, shielded. They moved resources carefully. They encrypted everything military. They showed us a young species fumbling with technology. We saw what they wanted us to see. Deception. Higher than the said, coldly. The crystalline beings' voices chimed like breaking glass. They lied to us. They protected themselves, Kalis corrected. They didn't know if we were friends or enemies, so they prepared for the worst. Can we blame them? If we encountered an unknown civilization, wouldn't we be cautious? Silence fell. The council members looked at each other uncomfortably. Morena spoke. What are humanity's demands? Full membership, equal status, no restrictions on military or expansion, complete sovereignty. The chamber exploded again. Representatives shouted. Some called for war. Others urged caution. A few suggested negotiation. High Seat Corin, a massive bear-like creature, slammed his fist on the table. The sound echoed like thunder. "Silence!" he roared. "We are the Galactic Council, not a marketplace of frightened merchants. We will discuss this rationally." The noise died down. Kalis Corin continued, "In your professional opinion, what would happen if we refused humanity's terms?" Kalis had hoped to avoid this question, but he had to answer truthfully. They would withdraw from all council contact. They would continue expanding on their own terms. They would build more Titan-class ships. Within 50 years, they would have a fleet we cannot match. Within a century, they would be the dominant military power in this region of space. And if we attacked them now, Van asked. Kellis looked at the high seats. I consulted our military analysts. They ran the scenarios. He pulled up another display. Battle simulations played out in fast motion. Council fleets surrounding human space. The Titan-class warships responded, ships exploding, casualties mounting. We could win, Keeley said quietly. If we committed our entire military, if we sacrificed 200, perhaps 300 ships, if we accepted casualties in the millions, and that's assuming the humans don't have other weapons they haven't revealed. Acceptable losses, the Truth representative said. Are they? Kellis challenged. 300 ships destroyed, millions dead. And for what? To force humanity into submission? To prove we are stronger? What happens after? Do we occupy their worlds? Do we monitor them forever? Do we make enemies of a species that would rather die than submit? Elena Vasquez's voice suddenly filled the chamber. The council members jumped. She hadn't been invited. How was she here? Apologies for the interruption, Elena said, her hologram appearing at the center of the room. Your security is excellent, but not perfect. I hope you don't mind if humanity addresses the council directly. This is unprecedented, Marira said, but she didn't cut the transmission. You have 5 minutes, Ambassador Vasquez. I'll need less, Elena said. Admiral Chen appeared beside her. The council is debating whether to accept our terms or attack us. Allow me to make your decision easier, she gestured. The display changed. Images of human space appeared. But now they could see what had been hidden before. Shipyards, hundreds of them, some building Titanous warships, others constructing smaller vessels. Thousands of ships under construction. This is our industrial capacity, Elena said. We've been building for 50 years. We didn't just create 12 Titans, we created an entire war economy. These shipyards can produce vessels faster than you can destroy them, Chen spoke next. Council members, let me be clear. We don't want war. We're not conquerors. We don't want your territory or your resources. We want respect. We want to be treated as equals. But if you attack us, Elena continued, we will defend ourselves with everything we have. Every shipyard, every weapon, every soldier. We survived nuclear war. We survived environmental collapse. We survived ourselves. Do you really think we can't survive you? The Varane scale showed an angry red. You threaten us? No, Chen said. We inform you. There's a difference. Threats are what the weak make. We're stating capability and intent. Elena stepped forward. Imagine a different future. Humanity is a full council member. Our ships defending council space. Our technology is shared, our resources traded, our cultures exchanged. We could be valuable allies. Or Chen said, imagine 50 years of Cold War, humanity building independently. Other species are looking at us and wondering why you tried to suppress us. The Council fracturing as members questioned your judgment. It's your choice. The transmission ended. The chamber was silent for a long time. Finally, Mora spoke. High seats, we must deliberate. Representatives, you are dismissed. Return in 2 hours. The chamber emptied. The 7 high seats remained. They've outmaneuvered us, Thera said. They showed strength, offered alliance, and made war seem too costly, masterful. They learned from their own history, Mora said thoughtfully. Humanity has fought so many wars. They understand power dynamics better than we do. So we surrender, Varane demanded. We adapt. Corrin said we have 2 choices. Fight a war we might win, but would us. Or accept humanity as equals and gain a powerful ally. They deceived us, Varane insisted. They protected themselves, Morena corrected. As we would have done in their position. As we should have done. Our mistake was assuming they were weak because they were young. We won't make that mistake again. The vote took place 2 hours later. 47 species cast their decision. 39 voted to accept humanity's terms. 8 abstained. None voted for war. Elena received the message aboard the Prague. She read it twice, then smiled. We did it, Torres said beside her. We did, Elena agreed. Now comes the hard part. What's that? Living up to our promises, being the ally we said we'd be, proving that humanity deserves this seat at the table. She looked out at the Olympus Mons still hanging in space like a monument to human determination. We built these ships because we were afraid, she said softly. Now we need to prove we're more than our weapons. Will the Council trust us? Torres asked. Elena shrugged. In time, trust is earned. We'll earn it. But as she watched the stars, she knew the truth. Humanity has won this battle with strength. Now they had to win the peace with wisdom. It would be much harder. 1 week after the Council's vote, Elena Vasquez stood before the assembled representatives in the Great Chamber. This time, she was not a hologram. She was there in person, wearing formal diplomatic attire. Behind her stood Admiral Chen and 3 other human representatives. No weapons, no guards, just 5 humans facing the galaxy. High Seat Morena gestured to an empty seat among the inner circle. Not in the outer rings where junior members sat in the inner circle, where full members belonged. Ambassador Vasquez Mora said, On behalf of the Galactic Council, we welcome humanity as a full member. Please take your seat. Elena walked forward. Her footsteps echoed in the silent chamber. She sat down, and in that moment, humanity's status in the galaxy changed forever. Thank you, High Seat, Elena said. Humanity is honored to join this council. We come in peace, seeking friendship and cooperation. Peace, Voreen said dryly, backed by 12 planet-killing warships. Elena met his gaze steadily. Yes, we believe in peace, but we also believe in being prepared. Our history taught us that lesson in blood and fire. We hope to never use those ships, but we will always have them ready. An honest answer, Corvin said, approval rumbling in his voice. I can respect that, Marira raised her hand. Let us be clear about expectations. Humanity is now a full member of this council. You have equal votes, equal rights, and equal responsibilities. You will participate in council decisions. You will contribute to council defense. You will respect council laws. We understand, Elena said, and we accept these responsibilities. However, Thera chimed, we must also acknowledge the reality. Humanity has military capabilities that exceed most council members. This changes the balance of power. It does, Elena agreed, which is why I want to make something clear to everyone here. She stood, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. Humanity's weapons are defensive. We built them to protect ourselves and our interests. We will not use them for conquest. We will not threaten council members. We will not bully smaller species. Noble words, Varine said. But words are easy. Actions prove intent. Agreed, Elena said, which is why humanity makes this offer to the council. Our military technology, our ship designs, our defensive systems. We will share them. The chamber erupted in shocked conversation. Species whispered to each other. Even the high seats looked surprised. Admiral Chen stepped forward. Not everything, he clarified. We won't give away our most advanced weapons, but defensive systems, shield technology, sensor arrays. These we will share for a price. What price? Corin asked suspiciously. Trade agreements, technology exchange, cultural programs. We want to integrate into the galactic community. We want to be part of something larger than just humanity, but we will do it as equals, not as subjects. Morirana considered this a generous offer, perhaps too generous. What do you truly want, Ambassador? Elena smiled slightly. High seat. May I be completely honest? Please. Humanity is terrified, Elena said simply. The chamber fell silent. We reached the stars and discovered we're not alone. For 50 years, we've been preparing for the worst. Building weapons, training soldiers, ready for war, but that's not the future we want. She gestured to the assembled species. Look at this council. 47 species working together, sharing knowledge, maintaining peace. This is what we want. We want to be part of this. We want our children to grow up in a galaxy where different species cooperate instead of fighting. But we're still afraid, Chen added. We're afraid of being conquered, afraid of being controlled, afraid of losing our freedom. So we built the Titans. We build weapons that make us too dangerous to threaten. It's the only way we know how to feel safe. Fear is a powerful motivator, Thera said, but it is also limiting. How long will you let fear guide you? As long as necessary, Elena replied. Maybe forever. Or maybe eventually we'll learn to trust. But trust takes time. It takes shared experiences. It takes proving to each other that we can cooperate. She returned to her seat. So here's what humanity proposes. We join the Council fully. We participate in defense agreements. We share some technology. We trade. We learn about your cultures, and you learn about ours. Slowly, carefully, we build relationships. And your Titan-class warships, Fan asked. They stay, Chen said flatly, non-negotiable. But they won't be used aggressively. They're deterrence insurance, a guarantee that humanity will never be subjugated. Some species will see them as threats. Morena said, Some species will, Elena agreed. And that's unfortunate. But we won't disarm to make others comfortable. We tried that on Earth. The peaceful species were always conquered by the aggressive ones. We won't make that mistake again. High seat, Corin leaned back in his massive chair. I fought in wars long ago before the Council achieved peace. I understand military thinking, and I tell you this, Ambassador. Your weapons make you powerful, but they also make you responsible. We know, Elena said seriously. Every time a threat emerges, the Council will look to your Titans, Corin continued. Every time we need military strength, you will be called upon. Are you prepared for that burden? Elena and Chen exchanged glances. They had discussed this possibility. Yes, Elena said. If Council space is threatened, humanity will respond. We'll defend our allies. That's what allies do. Good, Corvin said. Then I welcome you properly, Ambassador. The Council needs strong members, members who understand that peace must sometimes be defended with force. The vote was formalized. Humanity's full membership was recorded in Council history. Documents were signed. Ceremonies were performed. It was all very official and dignified. But the real moment came later in a small side chamber. Ambassador Kellis approached Elena privately. I underestimated you, he said without preamble. I underestimated your entire species. I apologize. Apology accepted, Elena said. You weren't wrong to be cautious. New species are unpredictable. You followed Council protocol. I followed prejudice, Kellis corrected. I saw young species and assumed weakness. I thought humanity would be easy to manage. I was wrong. You were, Elena agreed. But you learned. That's what matters. Kellis's skin showed thoughtful violet. May I ask you something personal? Of course, are humans truly as violent as you claim? Or was that exaggeration to intimidate us? Elena was quiet for a moment. It's not an exaggeration. Humanity has fought thousands of wars. We've killed millions of our own people. We created weapons specifically designed to end our species. Nuclear bombs that can destroy cities. Plagues that spread in hours. Chemicals that poison entire regions. Why? Kalis asked. Why would any species do that to itself? Because we're tribal, Elena said. We form groups and we fight other groups. It's in our nature. For most of our history, we were divided. Nation against nation, religion against religion, ideology against ideology. We're only recently unified, and even now tensions exist. How did you achieve unity? Elena smiled sadly. We found something more frightening than each other. The universe. When we reached the stars and realized we were alone, truly alone, it changed us. Suddenly, our tribal conflict seemed small. We were all humans facing an infinite cosmos. It brought us together. And if you find you're not alone, Kalis asked, if you find other species, some are hostile. What then? Then humanity will fight, Elena said simply, but we'll fight together. And we'll fight smart. We've had 10,000 years of practice. Kalis nodded slowly. I think I understand now. Humanity didn't become peaceful. You just redirected your aggression outward. Exactly. Elena said, we're still the same species that fought world wars. We just have bigger weapons and more dangerous enemies. Or we did until we met you. And now we hope you're friends, not enemies. We hope the Council becomes the family we never had. We hope to build something better than what we left behind on Earth. Elena's expression softened. We're tired of fighting, Ambassador. We really are, but we'll never stop being ready to fight. That's the contradiction of humanity. Kellis extended his hand in the human gesture. Elena shook it. Then let us be friends, Kelly said, and let your weapons remain quiet. That's all we want, Elena replied. 3 months later, the Olympus Mons returned to Earth orbit. Admiral Chen stood on the observation deck, watching his home planet slowly rotate below. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds, so small, so fragile, so precious. Admiral, his communication officer, called. New orders from Earth Command. What are they? The Council has requested a joint defense patrol. Pirates have been raiding in the Outer Rim. They're asking if the Olympus Mons can assist. Chen smiled. Their first mission is Council members. Not conquest, not intimidation, protection, defense, cooperation. Tell them yes, he said. Plot a course. We'll show them what humanity can do. As the massive warship prepared to jump, Chen thought about the future. Humanity had won their seat at the table. They had proven their strength. Now comes the harder task, proving their wisdom, proving they were more than weapons. But he was confident. Humanity had survived worse than diplomacy. They would learn, they would adapt. They always did. In the construction yards around Earth, 11 more Titanus warships continued their slow assembly. Weapons of last resort, insurance against the unknown, humanity's promise to itself that they would never be helpless again.